today, noting the agenda of council time today, which is Wednesday, April 26th. It is a very lean agenda, which is unusual. And I would suggest that we simply barge ahead with it. And if there are any amendments to it, I would ask Kathleen Otto for those now. And then let's proceed with council time.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to ask the council to amend the agenda to add one executive session for 15 minutes. The RCW is 42.30.110, parentheses 1, parentheses A, parentheses II, and I will provide that, that number for staff so that they can accurately reflect it in the minutes.
Chair Bowerman, you are muted.
Thank you.
I will also
Yeah.
add that there may be potential after action.
Okay, thank you. And how long will that executive session probably be?
15 minutes.
Okay, very good. With hearing no objections, that session is added onto today's agenda. Okay, let's look to the public comment on agenda items only. Is there any, staff?
We do have someone online. We'll go ahead and unmute them on our end.
Yes, this is Kimberly Goheen Elbin, Clark County resident of Clark County. Can you hear me?
Yes, and just a reminder that
Thank
this comment is only for agenda items on council time
Yes,
agenda.
and thank you very much, Chair. And I'll ask that you don't interrupt me as I'll be speaking on the minutes.
You go ahead, or
old
you're being
business
interrupting
2.1.
yourself.
Thank you. 2.1 under old business. And so we're going to go under the minutes. I've mentioned on record that my son, Cleve Goheen Rengo, is a poster child of not only drug use, but as a result of malice abuse from the Washington State Family Court, CPS, and DSHS, all socialist, federal, corrupt systems. He has spent a total in and out of jail 3 years of his young life and has been in and out of local rehabs and out of outpatient programs. He was arrested earlier this year trying to get into a behavioral health hospital. They denied him because he wasn't suicidal or homicidal, of which that should not be a requisite to getting into a hospital. A lot of people will not admit that they're suicidal or homicidal for that matter. Yet when approached by security, he reacted with PTSD and was arrested. He is a victim of the state of Washington systems, and we will put forth a unity bill to free millions of children back to their loving families. His case went around the world, and as people wake up, we will give all glory to God as he directs our path to Supreme Court Justice Raquel Montoya Lewis, Inslee, and Ferguson. Also, per the public comments on those minutes I spoke of, I wrote a letter to the Clark County Council, Board of Health, which are one and the same. It was dated yesterday. I am at this time requesting a review of the criminal trespass letter handed to me on October 26th of 22, which has taken my God-given rights of freedom of speech and freedom to assemble. I ask that this council take a look at the reasons why I was trespassed. Ask if they merit a criminal trespass. They do not. No good reasons and no reasons were given at the time. However, when I asked for the reasons, someone wrote some reasons and sent them to me. Very unprofessional. They said they were on the back of the original letter and they were not. Those reasons were not on the original trespass letter. This trespass letter was handed to me on October 26th of 22, 2 days after the mayor of Vancouver had her Gestapo police officer harm me as he escorted me out of chambers. I did nothing wrong there either. That is another story of which I plan action, and seems quite the coincidence it happened 2 days later. In the meantime, the criminal trespass letter was dated for September 22, a month prior to handing it to me. I will also mention that I spoke 3 minutes at all meetings during this time with no disruption, no comments from anybody, and so this does not add up. And I want the attention, excuse me, and I want to attend in person at my local Clark County Public Resource Center
Your
in
time
downtown
has
Vancouver,
concluded.
Washington,
And
USA.
it
Thank
is possible to take another testimony, staff, if there is someone.
No, Chair, there's no one else.
Okay, old business. Is there motion for approval of the minutes of April 19?
I move approval of the minutes of April 19th.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. And I just comment that in those minutes, there were some important notations on the quorum of council. I went back and refreshed myself on those and would suggest that others do as well, because there they are in the minutes recorded. That's great. Any other comments or additions or anything on them? And hearing none, they stand approved as drafted. Any new business?
Not this morning. It was intentional to keep this light as you had 2 important meetings this morning.
Yes, we did. Thank you so much. Counselor reports. Work session requests.
None today.
Very good. Policy issues today.
Not today. We do have a lot going on, and I will provide an update. And we do have a tentative date for interviews scheduled in a few weeks.
Very good. So we will, as a council time, take a recess at this point of, let's say 20 minutes to get in and out of the meetings, which will make it 11:51, that we will see you back after executive session in council time, perhaps for the purpose of any after action, if there is any, and otherwise we will simply be adjourning council time. Thank you, and see you shortly in executive session, council.
Hello, Chair Bowerman has asked us that we extend the executive session for an additional 10 minutes, and open session will reconvene at 12:01. Thank you. Chair Bowerman has asked that we extend executive session for another 5 minutes, and open session will reconvene at 12:06. Thank you. Hello again. Chair Bowerman has asked to extend the executive session another 5 minutes, and open session will reconvene at 12:11. Thank you.
It will be just one moment. We are coming out of an executive session back into council time as an open meeting. And at this time, I wish to move to approve resolution number 2023-05-02 regarding a resolution acknowledging an emergency condition and waiver of competitive bidding requirements in relation to compromised information technology. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? And if none, and hearing none, the motion stands approved as drafted and read.
We will need council to vote.
And shall that be a roll call?
No, it doesn't need a roll call. Thank you.
Okay. Council, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed say no. Hearing no no's, the motion is passed unanimously. And that concludes, as I understand it, the work that is needed at the end of that executive session. Is that correct, Ms. Lopez?
Yes, thank you, Chair Bowerman.
Okay, and in that event, council time is now adjourned, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.